mention that this event is an open house activity that will be reported in media. This session is also being live streamed on social media. You are kindly requested to switch off your mobile phones and put them on silent mode. Without further delay, let me now invite Executive Director, Center for International Strategic Studies, Sindh, Ambassador Retired Qazi M. Khalilullah to deliver his opening remarks for today's event and take over as the program chair. Ambassador Qazi holds a master's degree in international public policy from the School of Advanced International Studies, Johns Hopkins University, USA. He joined Foreign Service of Pakistan in 1985 and served at the Foreign Office headquarters in Islamabad as Section Officer, Director, Director General, and Additional Secretary. Ambassador Qazi holds a master's degree in international public policy from the School of Advanced International Studies, Johns Hopkins University, Switzerland, Myanmar, and Cuba. He was Ambassador of Pakistan to Myanmar from 2008 to 2012. Director, Director General 2012 to 2014. Ambassador Qazi holds a master's degree in international public policy from the School of Advanced International Studies, Johns Hopkins University, Myanmar, and Cuba. February, he was Ambassador of Pakistan to Myanmar from 2008 to 2012. Director, Director General 2012 to 2014. Ambassador Qazi holds a master's degree in international public policy from the School of Advanced International Studies, Johns Hopkins University, Myanmar, and Cuba. February, he was Ambassador of Pakistan to Myanmar from 2008 to 2012. Director, Director General 2012 to 2014. Ambassador Qazi holds a master's degree in international public policy from the School of Advanced International Studies, Johns Hopkins University, Myanmar, and Cuba. February, he was Ambassador of Pakistan to Myanmar from 2008 to 2012. Director, Director General 2012 to 2014. Ambassador Qazi holds a master's degree in international public policy from the School of Advanced International Studies, Johns Hopkins University, Myanmar, and Cuba. February, he was Ambassador of Pakistan to Myanmar from 2008 to 2012. Director, Director General 2012.
It is a matter of great honor and pleasure for me to chair the book launch ceremony of Professor Dr. Huma Baqai's book, Collected Works on Foreign Affairs and Security Policy. At the outset, on behalf of faculty of the Center for International Strategic Studies, Sindh, as well as on my own behalf, I am delighted to convey our heartiest felicitations to Dr. Huma Baqai on her book launch. Dr. Huma Baqai is a well-known scholar and writer and a highly successful professional. She is respected nationally and internationally for her accomplishments. Collected works on foreign affairs and security policy is a vast treasure trove of information and valuable source of knowledge about geopolitical seismic events that took place from 2018 to 2022, mostly in our region. She has been forthcoming in expressing her candid views and presenting incisive analysis of the developments in her book. While reading Dr. Huma Baqai's book, one gets an unmistakable sense of being walked through the geopolitical labyrinth. It gives an admirably succinct account and analysis of the regional and international developments, which not only have implications for Pakistan's national security, but also pose challenges and presented opportunities. Collected works on foreign affairs and security policy comprise 46 carefully selected pieces of Dr. Huma Baqai's opus, published in print media from 2018 to 2022. The title of the book bears testimony to her deep understanding of foreign foreign and security policies and how they influence each other's formulation. As elaborated by Dr. Huma Baqai in her book, the period from 2018 to 2022 was inter alia marked by chaotic withdrawal of foreign forces from Afghanistan, Pakistan's resolute response to India's attack on Balakot, intensification of US-India strategic partnership, enhancing of Pakistan-Russia relations, devastation caused by the pandemic, emergence of Saudi Arabia as a peacemaker in the Middle East with China's support and opportunities for regional connectivity with Central Asian states to Afghanistan. This period also saw the assignment of the role of net security provider to India under the US Indo-Pacific strategy designed to contain China. However, humiliation faced by India during the Balakot incident in February 2019 and Galwan Valley incident in 2020 proved that India was incapable of performing this role. Dr. Baqai's book includes pieces on Pakistan-Russia relations as well as Moscow format of consultations on Afghanistan. Having served as ambassador of Pakistan to the Russian Federation from 2016 to 2019, these pieces naturally attracted my attention. I can therefore vouch for every word that Dr. Huma has written about the upward trajectory of Pakistan-Russia relations. Over the last 2 decades, the governments of Pakistan and Russia have worked closely at all levels to forge a relationship that is respectful, trustworthy, and mutually beneficial. The enabling environment that both sides have succeeded in creating has opened up new vistas for bilateral cooperation in many fields of mutual interest. Pakistan-Russia relations have successfully enhanced in various fields, including exchange of high-level visits, military-to-military contacts, and trade with priority accorded to import of energy and wheat. Pakistan and Russia also come together as partners in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Interestingly, Afghanistan, which divided Islamabad and Moscow during the Soviet invasion, was helpful in bringing the two countries closer due to shared concerns and approaches to the peace process and the need for orderly exit of foreign forces from Afghanistan. Dr. Huma Baqai has rightly mentioned in her book that Russia valued Pakistan's ability to contribute to Afghan peace process and therefore decided to cooperate closely with Islamabad by establishing the Moscow format of consultations on Afghanistan in 2016. China was the third founding member of this format, which was later expanded to include Afghanistan, Iran, India, and 5 Central Asian states. Russia was also instrumental in bringing Pakistan into the Troika on Afghanistan, comprising 3 big powers, Russia, China, and the US. This format thus became Troika Plus. It was a unique honor for Pakistan to join this format as many other countries, including our eastern neighbor, made unsuccessful attempts to become a part of this exclusive quadrilateral grouping. The Troika Plus format was helpful in pushing the Afghan peace process forward, extending support for a negotiated settlement and stressing that post-withdrawal government in Afghanistan should be inclusive, it should respect women's rights, and should not allow Afghan territory to be used for terrorism against any country. Unfortunately, these concerns remain valid today. Improvements in Pakistan-Russia relations pay dividends in many other areas of concern to Pakistan. Let me briefly recall some of them. Until 2017, Russia-India joint statement issued after the annual summit included two paragraphs against Pakistan in the context of terrorism. Russia refused to accept these paragraphs from 2018 onwards. In February 2019, immediately after Pakistan Air Force shot down two Indian Air Force aircraft and Wing Commander Abhinandan was captured, Russia offered to host talks between Pakistan and India. Pakistan accepted the offer, India declined. Russia did not endorse annexation of illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir by India on 5 August 2019 and its incorporation as union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Subsequently, despite repeated Indian requests, Russia did not block two UN Security Council meetings held on this issue in August 2019 and January 2020. Despite the Ukraine war, Pakistan-Russia relations have continued to develop at their own pace. Pakistan is also maintaining good relations with Ukraine. Pakistan has maintained its neutrality and advocacy of resolution of all conflicts peacefully through dialogue. What is happening closer to home in the context of global power contestation is of greater concern to Pakistan because of its security implications for us. Unconditional Western support India in pursuance of their mission to contain China, India's relentless pursuit of advanced military hardware from its strategic partners, exceptionalism in South Asia, groupings like Quad and Indo-Pacific strategy have adversely affected South Asian strategic stability. However, Pakistan has time and again demonstrated its will as well as the capability to defend its sovereignty and territorial integrity and restoring strategic stability in South Asia. All these issues have been very carefully covered by Dr. Huma Baqai in her book. With these words, I come to the conclusion of my opening remarks, and now I will be wearing the hat of chairperson of this event. Now, first of all, let me invite Vice Chancellor, DHA Suffa University, for welcome remarks. Let me share his profile with you. Engineer Professor Muhammad Afzal Haq, an alumni of NED University of Engineering and Technology and University of Manchester, UK, has over 44 years of varied and versatile experience. He has served at responsible positions at national and international level in the field of engineering and technology and education. Presently, he is serving DHA Suffa University as Vice Chancellor. Previously, Dr. Haq was associated with Sir Syed University of Engineering and Technology as Vice Chancellor, NED University of Engineering and Technology as Vice Chancellor, and National Fertilizer Corporation as CEO, Energy Institute of Engineering and Technology, Multan. Prior to that, Dr. Haq worked as Managing Director with National Education Foundation and as a Professor and Dean at GIG Institute of Engineering, Sciences and Technology. He also served as Assistant Director at Imperial College of Science and Technology, London. Dr. Huck's research work is well published in peer-reviewed international journals. He possesses 2 gold medals for his outstanding performance, earning him the Molten Golden Medal from Institution of Chemical Engineers, UK in 1993, Presidential Award Azad Fazila, Pakistan in 1994, and Lifetime Achievement 2022 from Pakistan Engineering Council. Dr. Huck was recognized as an International Scientist of the Year in 2001 IBC Cambridge, UK. His name is listed in Who is Who in Engineering, USA 1997. He is Founder Fellow of Pakistan Academy of Engineering, Fellow International Engineering and Technology Institute, Founder Member of Canada-Pakistan Council for Education, and Member High Pressure Technology Association UK. You have the floor.
थोड़ी बहुत है फ्लैश
Lieutenant General Ali Ahmed Tiwari Sahab, Advisor General National Command Authority and Chief Guest of today's ceremony, Ambassador Ali Khalilullah, Executive Director of CISSS, Senator Javed Gabbar, former Senator and Federal Minister, Mr. Ikram Sayyid, Chairman Fort Finder Group, Pakistan, General Moin Hadza, whom I have some association with his Sassi University, Professor Dr. Huma Baqai, Lecturer Mind and author of the book, honorable guests, my faculty members and students, Assalamu alaikum. It is my great proud privilege and honor to welcome you all to DHA Suffa University today on the occasion of the launch of Dr. Huma's book titled Collected Work on Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, which has been organized by the Center of International Strategic Studies, Sindh, in collaboration with DHA Suffa University, Karachi. I feel overwhelmed to see a galaxy of luminaries in this room today who will shed luster on the works of Dr. Huma Baqai's work and highlight the significance in today's scenario. I'm not an expert in this field, but all I can say is that the fabric of foreign relations and security policy today is woven with economic relations. If the economic ties are strong enough, they will have a vital bearing on foreign relations and security. Therefore, there is a need to have sustainable economies to ensure good foreign relations and ensure security. I hope experts in the field will offer their valuable comments and provide updates to enlighten us on various ramifications of foreign affairs and security policies, especially from the point of view of developing economies. While on the subject, I would take this opportunity to acknowledge that the author is a highly honored academic and has truly reflected upon foreign policy affairs and security policies based on her understanding of geostrategic complexities facing the country. Her collective works on foreign affairs and security policies is a compilation of her 46 analyzed articles encompassing major events between the period 2018 and 2022, like freeze in the Indo-Pakistan relations, US withdrawal from Afghanistan, Taliban takeover and Ukraine war, etc. I'm sure the book will provide a useful reading for the students and practitioners of geopolitical policies. In the end, I thank you once again for taking the time out to be with us here today and congratulate the organizers of the event for their hard work to provide us this digital platform. I thank you.
I now have the honor to invite the chief guest of this ceremony, Lieutenant General Khalid Ahmed Baqai, Advisor Development National Command Authority, and Founding Director General, Research Plans Division. Lieutenant General Khalid Ahmed Baqai has led a highly meritorious military service for 49 years. He was awarded the coveted Sword of Honor on graduation at the Pakistan Military Academy. Saw frontline combat action in erstwhile East Pakistan in 1970-71 and was a POW in India from 1971 to 73. He has held a variety of prestigious command, staff, and instructional appointments and is a graduate of Pakistan's Command and Staff College, National Defense University, and the U.S. Army Field Artillery School, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. After the May 1998 nuclear test, Lieutenant General Khalid Baqai pioneered the establishment of Pakistan's National Command Authority and was appointed as the founding Director General of the Strategic Plans Division in December 1998. He served as DDSPD for 15 years and since 2014 is an advisor to the National Command Authority. As DDSPD, he conceived, articulated, and executed Pakistan's nuclear policy and veterans doctrine comprehensively. He translated these doctrines into a robust nuclear force structure, oversaw and ensured the establishment of Army, Navy, and Air Force Strategic Force commands, including the development and operationalization of a variety of nuclear weapons. We put in place state-of-the-art command and control system as well as an effective nuclear security regime for Pakistan's preferred assets. The resultant policy of full-spectrum deterrence ensures Pakistan's national security, strategic stability, and peace in South Asia. Lieutenant Khalid Baqai is also the architect of Pakistan's civilian nuclear energy vision 2050, which will provide Pakistan 42,000 megawatts of electricity, as well as the National Space Program 2040. All in all, Lieutenant Baqai built a professional SPD as a critical national institution that has earned national and international respect. In recognition of his devotion to duty, his vision and outstanding leadership of Pakistan's nuclear and space program, Lieutenant Khalid Baqai has been awarded Pakistan's highest civil award, the Nishan-e-Imtiaz, the second highest civil award, Hilal-e-Imtiaz, in addition to Hilal-e-Imtiaz military. So, may I invite you for your
Thank you very much for the introduction. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Professor Dr. Huma, thank you. Professor Dr. Khalid Ahmed, Engineer Professor Dr. Huma, Professor Khalisa, Honorable ladies and gentlemen of Pakistan's and Karachi's intellectual galaxy, members of the media, faculty members of DHA Suffa University, and the Center for International Studies CISSS, students of DHA University, Assalamu alaikum. I feel greatly honored to be in the company of this star-studded gathering of Pakistan's respected and well-known intellectuals, academics, and professionals. These are people who have devoted their lives in the service of Pakistan and brought laurels and pride to Pakistan and to all of us by simply excelling in their respective fields of expertise, spreading knowledge far and wide, and making varying contributions to Pakistan's society. Between them is a huge reservoir of wisdom, intellect, expertise, and knowledge that will define a generation. Let me put it more humbly that Pakistan is immensely proud of country. We are gathered here, of course, to launch Dr. Baqai's book, Collected Works on Foreign Affairs and Security Policy. It is a collection of articles and op-eds written by her during a 4-year period between 2018 and 2022. Dr. Baqai needs no introduction. She is well known, well regarded, and held in high esteem not only in Karachi and Pakistan, but also internationally. This large gathering is in itself a recognition of her standing and her tribute. Well, personally, for many years while serving in Rawalpindi, I have heard much about her outstanding abilities and also read some of her incisive articles. I have not had the good fortune of personal interaction with her till a few years ago. It was only when we were in the process of establishing the Center for International Islamic Studies Sindh in Karachi in early 2021 and were looking for potential members of our CISSS advisory board that we did with that out. We requested Dr. Baqai to join us on the advisory board, and she very promptly and graciously agreed to come on board. CISSS has since been declared on speaker. As most of you would know, Dr. Baqai was Associate Dean, Faculty of Business Administration at Karachi's prestigious Institute of Business Administration, IBA, before being appointed as Rector of Millennium Institute of Technology and Entrepreneurship, MITE. In her illustrious career, besides doing so much else in the academic field, at a fairly hectic pace, if I must say, she has now selected 46 articles, probably out of over 100 of her works, to put together as a book that is being launched today. In a 4 years' time window, this comes to a very healthy average of articles per month. Besides indicating what a prolific writer she is, the collection is also a reflection of the depth and mastery that Dr. Baqai has enjoyed over some of the most challenging and complex geopolitical issues of our times. Dr. Baqai's canvas of interest, geographically speaking, focuses essentially on the different dimensions of the study region in which Pakistan is located, and rightly so, because it directly or indirectly bears on the vital security interests of Pakistan. The subject matter of the book most certainly includes the congenital twins of geopolitics and geoeconomics, and the strategic effects that these generate in South Asia, specifically on the troubled relationship between Pakistan and India. This large geographical or strategic expanse forms a fairly neat rectangle on the map of the Middle East in the west, the Asia Pacific region in the east, from Russia and China in the north to the limits of the Arabian Sea in the south, and includes for good measure one north, the famous heartland of Latin America. And add to this the ever-moving long distance shadow that is cast on the areas of this historical mosaic by the United States in a superpower of almost 100 years standing. And you have one of the most critically complex regions in the world. This is where the current global power games are being played out between a superpower, the US, struggling to retain its so far undisputed status, and a rising China, which many believe is going to be risen, and will certainly and shortly challenges to superpower in enlarging its influence, mostly in areas of geoeconomics, but also as an extension in geopolitics. Consider the international rush to join the China-sponsored BRICS, the SCO, and the accompanying de-globalization wave in trade transactions. And we get the general drift of which way the BRIC might be going. Strong material currency. As against this, it appears that the US and the West might just be playing on the back foot in a reactive mode to various Chinese geoeconomics and geopolitical initiatives. Consider the latest outcomes of the G20 meeting in New Delhi this last weekend, the summit declaration, and most visibly, the announcement of the IMEC, the India Middle East Europe corridor, in what is clearly a bit of a catch-up game to China, built and put initiative of 2013 with the RI. Even the acronym IMEC has a familiar soundbite. One wonders though, whatever happened to President Biden's earlier initiative of 2021, which was labeled as Build Back Better World. As of now, however, the figure that has been quoted do make an interesting comparison. The BRI mentions $1 trillion plus, whereas the IMF figure has been quoted at $25 billion. I think time alone will provide some of the answers. As I talk about this vast strategic and geographical region that the focus of what the whole of ISS works, indirectly it also indicates the firm class which enjoys over the geopolitical and geoeconomic issues and developments that continue to emerge in the region from time to time. More often than not, these are issues that are interlinked in a complex web and usually follow a chain of broad continuity in the power play politics and economic policies of the various players in the region. Yet, by the nature of their complexity, these remain ever evolving, therefore demanding ever evolving responses from Pakistan's foreign policy and security establishments. As such, from the perspective of the author, and by extension, from the perspective of Pakistan, there is never a dull moment for analysts like Dr. Baqai who follow these events and developments closely. In her book, she takes us glued to the strategic subject matter between 2018 and 2022, and these evolved with an incisive view and opinions. Pakistan, due to the sheer pulls and pressures of its geostrategic location and the tough neighborhood, has invariably and continuously experienced foreign policy challenges throughout the 75 years of its existence. One can go back in a short history and start accumulating, recalling, and analyzing each decade since 1947. The 50s and the 60s, which saw an era of early political instability, belonged subsequently to the relatively stable political and economic period of President. The period witnessed, ironically, not only the blossoming of Pakistan-US romance on the one hand, it also included the crucial opening of strategic relations with China on the other hand. The relationship with China has since solidly stood the test of times over several decades, even though the Pakistan-US romance later turned sour. This was also the period when two wars in South Asia, separated in time and space, left deep strategic effects which continue to reverberate to today in one way or another. I refer to the India-China War of 1962 and the India-Pakistan War of 1965. The 70s of Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's era not only consolidated Pakistan's relations with China to a point that these became the cornerstone of Pakistan's security policy, but also brought a breath of fresh air by strengthening Pakistan's relations with the Muslim world, especially with the holding of the widely popular Islamic Summit in Lahore in 1974. The Islamic Summit, which was one grand event of its time, was a truly star-studded affair and brought the entire top leadership of the Islamic world together. It helped in lifting the gloom and doom and the silent spirits of Pakistanis after the trauma of the loss of East Pakistan in 1971. Most importantly, however, from the perspective of Pakistan then weakened security, especially after the explosion of the nuclear device by India in 1974 at Pokhran. The Bhutto era marked the birth of Pakistan's nuclear weapons program and is therefore, in my view, the most critical decade of Pakistan's history from a security point of view. When you reflect on it, you will probably agree that if that decision had not been taken then, Pakistan today, minus the nuclear weapons capability, would have been at the mercy of its weakness. The 80s of General Ziaul-Haq's rule saw the continuation of the development of Pakistan's nuclear capability on the one hand, but on the other hand, we also witnessed the invasion of Afghanistan by the Soviet Union in 1979, thereby raising the specter of communism and communist USSR becoming Pakistan's dominant neighbors, if not pushed back. Both developments had profound effects on Pakistan's security. While the nuclear program continued to be developed to secure Pakistan against external aggression for time to come, the war in Afghanistan against the Soviet occupation, though successful in expelling the USSR from the neighborhood, left lasting negative and destabilizing effects on Pakistan's internal security, with which we continue to grapple to this. Also in this decade, we can add the consequences on Pakistan's internal dynamics of the Islamic Revolution in Iran in 1979. It has had debilitating effects on Pakistan's security also and stability, with the rise of sectarianism. The 90s were a period of layers upon layers of US military economic sanctions against Pakistan because of Pakistan's continued pursuit of the nuclear program. This, after Pakistan had served the US interests in organizing the fight against the USSR, which eventually led to its disintegration. Pakistan felt used and discarded. The term transactional relationship came to usage and has left a lasting bitterness in Pakistan-US relations. The 90s also saw the birth of the Taliban movement in Afghanistan, which was inevitably negative for in Pakistan. The one item, however, that remained rock solid in the 90s too was the national determination and consensus to develop Pakistan's nuclear capability, irrespective of the government power. Pakistan's finest hour also belongs to the 90s, when in May 1998, Pakistan responded to India's 5 nuclear tests with 6 of 1. The nuclear program thus emerged out of the closet, and Pakistan became the 7th nuclear power in the world, finding stable security against external aggression. There is no doubt that the 2 decades of this 21st century have been defined and shaped worldwide by the events of 9/11, while also retaining the influences in many ways of the events and strategic effects generated early in 5 decades of the 20th century. While Pakistan's robust nuclear deterrence continued to enforce peace of sorts on the eastern border, out of Afghanistan, it is the western border and the state of internal security, especially in Pakistan and the KK, which have become problematic for Pakistan. The fallout of the post 9/11 US invasion of Afghanistan and Pakistan's participation in the war in terror continued to haunt Pakistan. Some of this can also be attributed to the fallout of the global struggle between the US and China. Pakistan's close strategic relationship with China, particularly the unfolding of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, has been opposed by the US and India in an anti-Pakistan, anti-China nexus, and therefore the threat of insurgency in the 2 critical provinces keeps Pakistan to be stabilized. As you might conclude from the foregoing 7-decade recap that I have placed before you, Pakistan decision makers have been invariably been confronted by global and regional challenges, which more often than not were not of our making and were mostly quite beyond Pakistan's control. Pakistan has usually been in a reactive mode and has mostly been responding to the unfolding policies pursued by the US, with the US are old, Russia today, China, India, and even at times Iran and Afghanistan. These are the dilemmas and dynamics that Pakistan's geostrategic position shapes and imposes on Pakistan's foreign policy choices and responses. From these 75 years of Pakistan's foreign policy choices and dilemmas, Dr. Huma Baqai has chosen the specific period between 2018 and 2022, during which he has written profusely on a variety of aspects from the perspective of Pakistan's foreign policy and security policy. In this context, rather than express my views afresh, I will read pretty verbatim and read for the benefit of the audience what I have written in the book as my brief comments. And I quote, Dr. Huma Baqai is a very respected academic and prolific writer on foreign affairs and security matters with a deep understanding of the complex web of geostrategic challenges that face Pakistan. In my judgment, she belongs to the realistic school of thought, which feels firmly placed on the ground with respect to Pakistan's security dilemmas. Collected works on foreign affairs and security policy is a collection of 46 brilliantly analyzed articles written by her in a critical period from 2018 to 2022, a period which includes major security events like the Huma Baqai skirmish with India, a decrease in India-Pakistan relations, the inevitable though chaotic US withdrawal from Afghanistan, the Taliban takeover and its ramifications for Pakistan, the rise of the Middle Eastern version of Glasnost and Swatta, and the Ukraine war. In each of these developments, Dr. Baqai has presented rational and realistic analysis from the Pakistani perspective in the relevant articles. The book is a highly recommended read for any student or practitioner of foreign political policies in Pakistan. Do I need to say any more? Yes, I think. There is one final word that I would like to say, and this is exclusively to my very dear up-and-coming students of the DHA Suffa University who are studying international relations, strategic studies, or any other subject, and also to the faculty of the Center for International Studies in Sindh, who are also in some ways both researchers and students at the same time, and both are present here this year. This book by Dr. Baqai should be studied by each one of you in a classic edition, a textbook primer of how comments and articles on subject issues should be written, how the subject matter of topic should be selected according to its importance, relevance, and currency, how the subject matter should be described and elaborated, how the issue should be analyzed critically from all aspects, particularly for this relevance to the larger issues of Pakistan's security, and finally, drawing from the arguments involved, placing possible but realistic options, choices, and recommendations for the reader, and for that matter, for policy managers to exercise as a response to the issues under discussion. Between the lines, Dr. Baqai's book provides ample guidelines for the writing methodology on how to organize your operative articles. Please use the book as a learning tool. And if there is one word that I would like to emphasize upon it when it comes to options, choices, or recommendations, that word is realism. Do not lose touch with the cold reality of the real world. Stay within the realms of prevailing ground realities and understand the strengths as well as limits of Pakistan's national power potential. Remain mindful of how the real world operates. Remember that the real world is ruthless and seeks to serve respective national interests. The world drives roughshod with policies, and there is no room for compassion or sentiments when it comes to national interests. In the same way, therefore, your business too is to look out for Pakistan's national interests through cold, calculated, and dispassionate analysis, but with a very clear reality check and understanding of the national power potential. Remember, there are limits to power. Even the US has limits to power. We call Vietnam and Afghanistan. We call the USSR in Afghanistan and Russia today to the Ukraine. Do not live in a dream world or expect an ideal world. See things from the viewpoint of Pakistan's national interest only. Remember the geopolitical practitioners' cardinal principle: friends and enemies are not permanent in the national interests of the country. As I end, I would like to offer my sincere felicitations to Dr. Huma Baqai on the publication of the CISSS book of hers. It's a great effort that she has made, and I'm sure that it will find due recognition and praise in the future that is available on Pakistan's foreign affairs and security policy. I also hope that she will continue to write on some of the critical challenges that continue to confront Pakistan, despite the heavy workload as director of the university. My good wishes for her, and thank you.
you, Honorable Chief Guest, for gracing the occasion and for your insightful views. Let me now invite our discussions to the stage, and in this regard, let me invite Senator Javed Baqai, former Senator and Cabinet Minister, Professor Dr. Khalida Ross, former Managing Director, Social Policy and Development Center, Mr. Ikram Sehgal, Chairman, Pathfinder Group of Pakistan, and finally, author of the book, Professor Dr. Huma Baqai. Well, I now have the pleasure of inviting Senator Javed Baqai for his kind views. Much okay.
This is Int'l, and all you distinguished gentlemen, ladies, Mother, Abbas, and Heather, and all, thanking Ombudsman, what gets up in body, and the subversive economist is also here. MashaAllah, great pleasure to be here. To begin with felicitating Dr. Huma Baqai. I know her in 4 capacities. As a fellow Karachiite, most important, Karachi Zindabad. It is only Karachi that can produce a woman like this. We all share not or Khalida also produced G. As a fellow visiting faculty, हमको बेचारे visiting faculty IBA के रहने हैं सारे साल जब भी इस शरीर लड़की को जाना था कहीं अमेरिका कहीं बर्तानिया तो पता था कि visiting faculty में फारिग बैठा हुआ है मक्खी मारता है सारा दिन कुछ काम तो है नहीं इसको तो मुझे फोन करके जी यार साहब could you please take my class here? Exploitative slave driver Huma Baqai, right? फिर कई जगहों पर हम साथ बोलने का अच्छी दावत दी जाती है कि आप आकर और कंफ्यूज करें लोगों को दोनों हम फौरन शरीक हो जाते हैं फिर चौथी कैपेसिटी थी कि न सिर्फ ऐसे लाइव मासूम ऑडियंसेस को करें बल्कि पाकिस्तान टेलीविजन पे जाकर 4 महीनों के लिए मकालमा प्रोग्राम और इंश्योर करें कि कम से कम लोग देखें क्योंकि वो पाकिस्तान टेलीविजन पे तो हर हफ्ते 1 या 2 दफा इनके साथ बैठकर 21-22 में हमने वकालने में एक्सप्लोर किए नए ख्यालात पुराने मामलात के बारे में. So it's a pleasure to see Huma's work, and I want to compliment the ambassador, Dr. Kali and Jennifer White. Both these gentlemen have done such great justice, both to the subject or subjects of the book and to the contribution made by the writer, Dr. Huma Baqai. I think very appropriately analyzed, described, and attributed, and I endorse whatever you have said. I may respectfully disagree with one or two aspects, which I will try to be as respectful as I can, but let me just, not wanting to repeat anything, I have read virtually all these essays when they were published, but particularly after they were brought together in book form. And what strikes me is that the first thing about foreign affairs is the maxim that foreign affairs, judging from the perspective of foreign policy is basically a reflection of internal domestic policy or conditions. Now, judged by that criterion, it is remarkable, a compliment to Pakistan, that despite our volatile, unstable, disintegrated history, 24 years we stayed together, East Pakistan and West Pakistan. But even after 71, when you look at the overall picture, considering how unstable we have been, even under long periods of military rule, there has been volatility, either in terrorism or mullaization of Pakistan under Ziaul Haq. It has been a very calm and peaceful Pakistan for 76 years. It's been a very turbulent Pakistan. That turbulence has not damaged the deftness and skill and care and often wisdom with which we have conducted foreign policy. It's actually a tribute to Pakistan, and we often underestimate it. Even in our reaction to the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, it was a domestic compulsion for Ziaul Haq to react, because you cannot ignore the fact that another foreign force has entered your neighborhood, your neighbor's house, and obviously will threaten one's own security. So much as Ziaul Haq was not popular, is certainly not my most popular leader. He represented the mullaization of Pakistan in a very dangerous way, whose after effects we still feel today. But there was no other choice, and Pakistan made the right choice by opposing the intervention in Afghanistan. And going back earlier, while at the same time being members of anti-communist pacts, along with the US and the UK, the Baghdad Pact, which became CENTO, and SEATO, Southeast Asian Treaty Organization, at the same time we managed to construct a very positive relationship with China, communist China. We became the first country in the world to create an air link between Beijing and Islamabad and Karachi. The only country that took the courage and leadership. Those are only two examples. I think in all other aspects, it is the easy subjects. And by easy, I'm not minimizing their importance. Easy subjects like Palestine, or apartheid, or the right of self-determination. Pakistan has always taken a very morally correct, ethically right policy, regardless of its other alignments. So this is the great achievement. Continuous domestic instability, or dictatorship, or democracy, disintegration, and yet the capacity to conduct foreign policy with the intention that it should benefit Pakistan. I think we need to also revisit the thesis that if you build economic relations with another country, you reduce the chances for conflict and you promote goodwill. Looking at the essays that Dr. Huma has written, Godavari, but they do not necessarily address this. Thoughts arise. Is that true? Today, the United States continues to import billions of dollars of goods from China, simultaneous to the increase in geopolitical tension, rivalry, and competition. US imports from China are about 2 to 3 times what the US or China imports from the US. And yet the US has become dependent on China. And yet at the same time, politically, it has a completely different policy. Even in East Asia, the relations between Japan, South Korea, China, and the US did not change the fact that they needed each other economically. So you had economic relations, but very strong geopolitical tensions. So Dr. Huma Baqai's reflections on foreign affairs in the context of Pakistan and related countries, whether it is the US, China, India, or Afghanistan, also make one think about the value of regional cooperation. I know we are talking about Shanghai, SCO, we are talking about other initiatives, but whatever happened to SAARC? India has maliciously, deliberately sabotaged the first regional cooperation mechanism in South Asia, which has become even more relevant because of Afghanistan. Afghanistan is also a member of SAARC. But as we know, India deliberately vetoed the convening of the overdue summit of SAARC in Islamabad, purely because of a bilateral issue with Pakistan. Ironically, even though bilateral issues are not supposed to be included in the SAARC agenda. So, Pakistan has borne this terrible injustice with dignity, which has not raised this issue as well as it should have. Very sorry to hear that, but that is the fact. Turning to security policy, so glad that Dr. Huma Baqai has included at least 3 essays, which are very pertinent and compliments to the previous government, which continued the work initiated earlier during Nawaz Sharif's government. Imran Khan's government appointed Dr. Moeed Yusuf as National Security Advisor. And for the first time, a comprehensive document of about 110 pages, to which he refers, was released, out of which only 50 pages were shared with the public. The rest are classified for understandable reasons. But those 50 pages, for the first time, recognize the importance of non-traditional threats to security. By non-traditional means non-military threats, economic threats, cultural threats, communication threats, which we need to take note of and prepare for. And an extensive process of consultation was undertaken. Unfortunately, with the removal of Imran Khan's government, debate and promotion of discourse on that security policy draft has virtually ceased. The current government doesn't seem to be interested. This is the caretaker government. But even the government before it, the PDM government, simply seems to have lost interest, purely because maybe it was Imran Khan's initiative. And the military was very actively involved in it. So it's very unfortunate that public discourse on security, what is security policy, isn't food security important, especially now with inflation hitting the sky and so many other ills of our economy. There is such a need for debate on security policy. There's a very good quote she reproduces from Baqai and Okay, the meaning of security. The meaning of security is, the meaning of national security is that you prevent any threat from affecting your internal values. I question that quotation that she has used, because how can you protect internal values? We are not living in a cocoon, in an isolated ward somewhere. We are living in an age of unprecedented mass connectivity. A character living in South America in a remote village can switch on to FM 89 or FM 90 of Karachi and listen to it. So we need to take note that internal values are no longer internal. They are partly global, partly getting narrower. There is this return to religiosity. अपना दिखावे के लिए मजहब अपने आस्तीन पर पहनने का एक रुझान जो पैदा हुआ है, दिखावे वाला इस्लाम. But true spirituality and true faith and respect for each other, we have as a country. We send hundreds of thousands of Muslim children every day to Christian schools, which shows how pluralistic we are. And yet we go and burn 20 churches in Jaranwala, and the whole world thinks of Pakistan as a fanatical extremist. I want to conclude by reflecting on what national security means to us today. National security has to be judged from how secure is an individual. And due to the terrible decline in law and order, a very alarming rise in militancy and terrorism, the average citizen today, whether it is Karachi where street crime is rocketed, or whether it is in the rural areas where domestic child labor can be actually murdered and people can get away with it. What does it mean to an individual? Security. There's no such thing as ideal security. You can have madmen walking into a department store in America and shooting innocent people dead. So there's no security even in America. But in our country, there's the added one, that citizens disappear. They disappear. And there's no accountability. You can't say that so and so was taken. You have police in uniform violating the decisions of the judges and the Constitution and walking into people's houses and taking them away, regardless. Is that security? We have the tragic case of Arshad Sharif, killed in Kenya, now almost 10 months, 11 months ago. No mention any longer. What happened to Arshad? Imran Riaz Khan has disappeared. Even the media sometimes remember him. What is this? Man just is taken away by people in plain clothes. They are not in police uniform. And they turn up in court and say, we have no idea. So he's been contracted out to someone else. That kind of reality, disregard to the Constitution, makes a mockery of what is national security. National security has to be rooted in respect for human beings and respect for the Constitution and law. And Dr. Huma Baqai's heart is in the right place. I'm sure her husband knows that. And her values, most of all, are also in the right place. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your very candid views. I think you were not only able to present the summary of everything that is contained in the book, also went beyond it, that reflected your deep understanding of the foreign and security policies of France. Thank you, sir. Let me now invite Professor Dr. Alada Host, former Managing Director, Society, Social Policy and Development Center. Professor Dr. Khalida Ghosh is former Managing Director of Social Policy and Development Center, Karachi, Pakistan. She is a renowned Pakistani scholar of international relations and human rights and activist who was awarded the first PhD in human rights from her country. He was a professor of international relations and had also served in the capacity of chairperson of development of international relations at the University of Karachi with additional responsibility of director of the Center of Excellence for Women's Studies.
Thank you, Huma, for giving me this opportunity of being here and sharing this happiness of your book launch. We have been colleagues at the University of Karachi, but I'm extremely happy that I'm here today with you, despite the fact that I have not been feeling well. I must say, when she asked me yesterday to come and share my views on and about this book, I read this book in one evening, so it's a very readable book. One can be in bed and go through it in one evening. The language is nice. Younger people, if you are sitting over here, you can understand. You can go through it in one evening. So it's a slim book. It's a readable book, it's understandable, and that's one of the qualities which it is considered to be a quality of a book. If it is understandable, it's not too heavy, the font and so on and so forth. The second thing which I would like to mention is that the issues which you have, the topics, the articles that you have written, and I could see that there are over a dozen articles on some aspects of Pakistan, US, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, or US, Iran, and so on and so forth. Same goes for Afghanistan. So it shows that your main thinking, main consideration of how the regional developments are impacting Pakistan, how they are influencing. So almost 12 of them, I counted them, are on US with the regional states, including Pakistan, an equal number of Afghanistan with Pakistan and its influences, or with the other regional countries and so on and so forth. So your consideration, your concern as to what kind of regional developments are taking place are very, very clear through your writings and on the articles that you have selected for this particular compilation. I must say that. The third thing which I would like to mention is that you have also included and talked extensively on the various and on the number of the strategic alliances that are taking place and that would influence directly, indirectly, the South Asian countries, and which have the consequential repercussions for the South Asian countries and specifically have created concerns for Pakistan. So I think we need to keep that in mind and need to take that into consideration. You have made your case, you have referred to them, all of those strategic alliances which are coming up. And why the need, why Pakistan felt compelled to move closer to China and to Russia as a consequential repercussions of all those developments that would be taking place, the rethinking that have emerged. within the foreign policy quarters. So I think it is extremely, I found it to be very, I mean, your concerns, your thinking, because when we write something, we write it because we would like, we are thinking about it, and we would like to write about and on these issues. But we have also written about the economic issues or economic conditions in Sri Lanka, the Ukraine war. So you're keeping yourself abreast with all kinds of developments which either directly or indirectly, in a very subtle way, would be impacting and affecting, or the kind of the waves that is there in the making, and it can impact Pakistan and it would affect Pakistan. That is one thing which I wanted to point out. The second thing, because I don't want to be repetitive, I think there were a number of people who spoke before me. The second thing which I would like to speak about is that you have written about India-Pakistan relations also. Whether we like it or we don't like it, as a Pakistani, each one of us considers it to be his or her right to speak about and share our thinking about it. You have written some good piece, and you have also written about the demographic terrorism. But I hope that in future you will also be talking and making reference to the fourth General Convention, which Pakistan has hardly made use of in its diplomatic circle. I'm sure about it, or the 35A, because we have heavily referred to Article 370, but we have hardly made reference to 35A. When we are talking about demographic terrorism, we haven't. The Fourth General Convention, the translators are sitting over here. We haven't actually made use, we haven't made reference to it today, because there are a number of the General Convention articles which should have been used by the Foreign Office the way it should be, and they should find its place in our writings, both in the newspaper articles and specifically in our research articles, because at least half a dozen General Conventions are being violated by the Indians when we talk about Indian occupied Kashmir. It is an international conflict. There are three parties involved in it. So that is one thing that I wanted to point out. Of course, you have talked about, I'm not going to take too much of the time, and as I've said, I will be avoiding it. You have made reference to the coercive diplomacy, time and again. When you're talking about actually rethinking, in other words, you're talking about the coercive diplomacy. That is in vogue. When we talk about do more, actually, we have been dealing about the coercive diplomacy. But are we equipped to be dealing with the coercive diplomacy? And in what manner, in what way, to what extent have we been successful in doing it? I think that, again, raises certain pertinent questions, and I hope that the remaining articles which you left behind, because only 46 have been picked up out of those 100 articles that you referred to, you must have, I'm sure about it, that this needs to be looked into. How do we do it? Do we look into it and handle it by being very apologetic? Do we need to continue following or looking towards the appeasement policy? We have that kind of an attitude. So how do we deal with it? I think that these are the choices which we need to make and refer to. The third thing which I want to do, because I continue calling it Javed Safmarkar, the chairman of SPDC. I keep calling it my SPDC, despite the fact that I've been out of it. But I've been associated with it for 11, 12 years. And if you have been associated with the institution for that long, it is my SPDC. I wish the very best for that institute. You know, you have referred to the National Security Policy 2021-2026. The point is, as a social science student, I have some serious reservations about it. You are very pleased and happy about it. Your book is beautiful, and I will only say good things about your book. You're not only my colleague from the university, you're a very dear friend of mine. But I personally have some very serious reservation about it. I have, because the other things which follow it, which accompany it, we cannot see it in isolation. We also need to see National Action Plan. We also need to see Pehlam Pakistan. We also need to see most of the other actions that have been taking place. Now, some 2.5 years back, when I stepped out of SPDC, but I continued working on that project, which was a USA project on countering violent extremism. We had undertaken some 5 studies where we were looking into violent extremism, what generates it. There were 5 studies which we published. It leads to impunity, how does it lead it? Poverty, does it contribute into, does it lead into extremism, bad governance, and intolerance. Out of this intolerance, we were looking for the evidence, and there were different segments of the society which were present in those discussions. So there is no evidence-based proof that unemployment or the poverty, there is no nexus between the two. We try to find. So that is, you have made reference to 65% youth bunch over here. You have made reference to the unemployment thing. But there is no nexus between the two. There is no proof. There is no evidence to it. To what extent? Yes, uneducated and educated youth. We have seen the educated youth being moving towards the terrorism and so on and so forth. So I think we need to be very careful. And there's a total disconnect. See, the point is, this was all discussion, consultation based. Government, state has its own perception about radicalization and extremism, and the society has its own perception and understanding about it. So there is no consensus on and about these issues till this day as to what is breeding and strengthening these issues in Pakistan. So I personally believe that. And because it is the studies which are leading to us to think on those lines. So there's a disconnect on those basic things. I think I would like to congratulate you for bringing all of these host of issues, topics together. Some are very topical, but some are very, very serious issues which you have picked up. And many congratulations. Keep writing and keep embarrassing me. I haven't written anything in quite a while. Thank you, Chief, for listening so patiently.
Our next discussion is Mr. Vikram Sehgal, Chairman Pathfinder Group of Pakistan. Mr. Vikram Sehgal is Chairman of Pathfinder Group of Pakistan, which includes 2 of the largest private security companies in the country, namely Pakistan Security and Management Services Pvt Limited and Baqai Pakistan Pvt Limited. He is a defense analyst and a security expert. Mr. Sehgal is also involved in various national and international organizations. He is a member of World Economic Forum International Organization for Migration, Director, East-West Institute, a US-based think tank, and member World Economic Forum Global Agenda Council for Counterterrorism. He is a regular corporate contributor to newspapers and frequently appears on current affairs programs. Let me add something here based on my personal experience. Mr. Ikram Stagum hosts breakfast on the margin of World Economic Forum annual meeting for dignitaries visiting from Pakistan and his friends. I had the pleasure of attending that breakfast twice in 2004 and 2005. Sir, you are the floor.
I always find myself in a disadvantage when I'm following people at the rate of or because all of them have got degrees from universities. My degree was from the Pakistan British Academy. And the 9 mile run, we used to go with the big pack on. We used to stop at the 8 mile at a place called Yasi Masjid. So people ask me, where did you learn your strategy from? I said, from drinking water on the 8 mile of this Yasi Masjid. I want to first, before I talk about, which I have read, because I read every article of Dr. Baqai. So the book to me was not new. What was relevant to me was the changes that have taken place between the time that you were 4 years, not change. And that is the essence of both foreign policy and security policy. George Washington, when he was leaving his 2-year term as president, he left a message for Congress. He said, never make inveterate friends and never make inveterate foes. What he meant was, do not have permanent friends and do not have permanent foes. These keep changing. A lot has changed in Pakistan. A lot has changed. And we talked about our foreign policy. We are today existing as a nation today because of the brave decision Sultan took. And then, of course, followed by another brave decision when our Sharif was along and got us in. And I want to take this time to acknowledge very bluntly that the nuclear deterrence that we have honed and perfected would not have been possible without Int'l. We had to chart a very, very delicate course. This was a course that had to take into account all our foreign detractors, our domestic detractors, our resources, our, how to put it together at the same time. Since we were the only, let us say, Muslim nation having a nuclear deterrent, to create the world that this was not meant except as a deterrence to India. And that by itself was a very major achievement. I think one of the achievements was that in Pakistan, which is very, very relevant, is we can discuss anything, but thank God we can't discuss SPD in public or on the social media. Right? So which is good. Because what happens is that there is something that is central to our security. Dynamics keep changing. We were the darling of the West in the 80s. We became the area in the 90s. In 2000, they discovered us again. By 2020, they left us high enough. These keep changing. And as the reply pointed out, that, you know, our from cornerstone to gravestone is not a long distance. You know, so we will keep this thing keep changing, but to keep that particular dynamics. And something that again generates the transfer club. So whatever happens, foreign policy remains constant. And that is a remarkable achievement, which I attribute to people like Ambassador Birla and Ambassador Kazi, who's sitting there today and looking at his mobile at the moment. I'm not listening to me, but the point is, people like that and other the people, the great people that we have in our own lives, who kept the cause, who kept the thing going in every country that they served. A long time, some time back, as member of the World Economic Forum, I realized that India was not going to give us safe conduct of trade or anything to India. So I thought here is a challenge to be turned into an opportunity. So we turned that into an opportunity and we call ourselves, but we are the gateway of innovation. Karachi is the gateway of innovation. Because obviously the rail lines, everything can't go to India, the roads can't go to India because they don't allow us. So this is the gateway. And European countries took that also, but did not pay much attention to it till the Ukraine war. The Ukraine war stopped 3 major lines from China to Europe. And because of the stoppage of those 2 Belt and Road initiatives, Pakistan became a crucial power. But we fail to understand what it is not the China-Pakistan economic corridor only, but it was also the North-South corridor. The inherent corridor that we had because of the RCD highway. RCD had developed a highway. RCD developed rail to road and rail to communications. Pakistan, Iran, natural law, which was, of course, when it suited the West, it was central, and it was that about that. When it did suit them, we were common. Their darling became the other side. The whole thing points out to opportunity cost. Not many people know that Russia did turn, Soviet Union, not Russia, did turn to us after 65 years. Did give us military aid. I know Russians were not good. The artillery had a lot of guns from Russia. No, that was the it all failed because of the Yaya of foreign ill-fated meeting in Iran, because the Shah Iran, our good faith was trying to set up, we were trying to sort of talk by sort of, bring, so in a way, the result of that was that the Indo-Soviet treaty ultimately ended up in the 71. So, again, Russia, I think we did, I agree with you, but we had no choice when we were overlooking into Afghanistan. I think the next time around, we did have a big choice. If we could have exercised a little more balance there, or got a little more out, from our friends. But look at the imbalance of it today. The imbalance of it. For 30, 40 years, we have harbored around people and refugee camps, giving them aid, giving them education, etc. Today, they are the greatest enemies. What is happening on our borders? What is happening inside? You think they could, it has been done without the Afghan Taliban government being involved? Impossible. Really? Now, we have to accept that. And we have to make sure the new dynamics is this coming up, which is that Saudi Arabia, Iran, under the personal drive, and that benefits us. Because for a long time back, we talked about the gas pipeline from Iran to Pakistan. And globally, or India. But the point is, we need that energy. We need the energy which will come from the northern pipeline, right? So we need all these things. So I want to repeat something that a lot of people talk about, is that, you cannot dictate foreign policy of the emotions. We could not dictate of your realism. And realism means pragmatism. And pragmatism means by not sacrificing your national interest. And I think that we, to an extent, I'm sorry to say, that we have to do. And that we have to do for the main reason. Because we cannot get ourselves free. We should have a balance for it. I don't say China has been a great support to us. There was a time in 1970, you will not believe it, when China did not have any pockets. When China did not have any pockets, right? I was on the KK flight, the Carbon Highway flight, flying the Chinese. When I wrote three French helicopters, right, as a Pakistan Army mission pilot. That was almost 53 years ago. But today, China has gone beyond imagination as far as the development is concerned. We can do that. But remember, security policy is rooted in economics. We've got to get our economics together. Right now, the government has opened up suddenly and started cracking down on foreign exchange. Right? This is nonsense. Total scam. We've got 18,000 banks which can give away foreign exchange. And we opened up 2,000 foreign exchange bureaus. Now suddenly they've broken up and they started investing the banks. Why the exchange rate is coming down, it comes down again. Then let us understand the capacity tax by the IPPs, the Independent Private Commission. When I was chairman of Karachi Electric, there were about many IPPs that were not producing electricity or not giving electricity to us because they said, we cannot give electricity, but they were getting money from the government of Pakistan for not producing electricity. They were being paid for not producing electricity. Right? We were there quietly. Some of those plants do not even have the machinery. Right? We live by these scams. And there are a number of other scams which I can talk about. But I really wanted to eulogize Dr. Baqai. She has been our lead in the Karachi Council for Foreign Relations. And because of that, a number of times she has conveyed us a delegation to the World Economic Forum. And without doubt, whether it was women empowerment, whether it was financial inclusion, whether it was foreign, a lot of people there said, where do you get people like this in Pakistan? Because they thought everybody comes in the hurt in Pakistan. So, Dr. Baqai, it's not what we have produced. For me, it's not so. But I do hope that what we produce, people take benefit of it, people take advantage of it, and and make sure that you then take a decision based on your own understanding of the realities. That is the most essential. That your decision is based on the realities, based on the realities existing at that time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable thoughts and also nice words about Pakistan's diplomacy and diplomacy. Our Last speaker is author of the book, Dr. Huma Baqai.
Assalamu alaikum. And I'm both honored and humbled. If I was to thank people who turned up today on my right, personally, the lunch would be delayed. So a huge thank you to all those people who came here on my personal right. And of course, then thank you to Jail Saab and Dr. साहब जिन्होंने बुक को स्पॉन्सर भी किया, जैन साहब ने उसके हवाले से किताब में कुछ लिखा भी है। आप लोग अगर किताब पढ़ें तो वो कमेंट मेरे लिए बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है जो जैन साहब ने किताब में दिया है। बहुत सारे थैंक यूज हैं। जो फैक्ट के DHA सफा यूनिवर्सिटी ने हमारे चांसलर साहब ने साबित समझा इस किताब को कि हमें वेन्यू दिया और फिर इस किताब की आज फॉर्मल लॉन्च हुई। मैं किताब के बारे में तो बात नहीं करूँगी, जितनी बात किताब के बारे में हुई वो मुझे भी नहीं पता था। So it was very humbling for me to hear all that about the book. But there are certain things that I want to share. For example, ये मेरी तीसरी किताब है और दो जो मेरी पहली किताबें थी वो एडिटेड बुक्स थी और जो मेरी पहली किताब की पब्लिशर है वो भी यहाँ तशरीफ रखती है अमीना सैयद। ये मेरी पहली किताब Making Sense of Post-COVID-19 Politics publish की थी, जिसको KCFR ने, जिसको काम से उसके चैनल थे, उन्होंने उसको सपोर्ट किया था। जो मेरी पहली दो किताबों में मेरी को-एडिटर थी डॉक्टर नौशीन वासी, वो भी यहाँ तशरीफ रखती है। तो मैं जाहिर उनकी बहुत मशहूर हूँ और जो मैं सबकी बातें समझ रही थी, गलतियाँ जिसने निकाली वो डॉक्टर खालदा वॉस की, वो तो जाहिर है होना था क्योंकि मैंने उनके अंदर PhD किया है। तो साथ रहता है, इससे भी कभी आप वो नहीं कर सकते। मेरे लिए बहुत हम्बलिंग एक्सपीरियंस था कि जिस खातून ने और यहाँ से भी चुप के चले गए प्रोफेसर बंगाली, डॉक्टर खालदा वॉस ने और प्रोफेसर बंगाली ने मुझे लिखना सिखाया और आज मैं इसलिए लिख सकती हूँ कि इन्होंने मेरी हर लाइन में गलती निकाली। तो I'm grateful to them for that. And then of course जावेद जब्बार साहब बिल्कुल सही कह रहे थे। जब मुझे कहीं IB में बड़ी सख्ती है आपको पता ना और मैं पढ़ाती हूँ प्रोफेसर है तो जाना पड़ता था कहीं तो वो कहते थे आप जाएं मसला कोई नहीं है क्लास नहीं खत्म होगी। तो एक बंदे जिसने मुझे कभी नो नहीं कहा that is I would call the डांटते थे लड़की अब कहाँ जा रही हूँ these classes and we would do that. And then, of course, we did TV shows together. But you know, I am who I am today because I have the support of people like you here. जिसमें जावेद इकबाल साहब ने जो बहुत पहले जब हमारी सिंध गवर्नमेंट जो थी गवर्नमेंट के लोगों को कहीं जाने नहीं देती थी तो जावेद इकबाल साहब ने फोन किए थे इसको पढ़ने जाते तो जावेद इकबाल साहब आप हैं और आप जैसे बहुत सारे लोग यहाँ बैठे हैं मजहर जिनके साथ मैंने काम किया। Of course, जो मेरी फॉरेन पॉलिसी का एक्सपोजर और ग्रूमिंग हुई उसमें इमरान सैयद साहब का बहुत बड़ा हाथ है। CISSS के साथ अपनी एसोसिएशन फॉर कराची काउंसिल फॉर फॉरेन रिलेशंस इसको over 15 years now. So all of that groomed and allowed me to become who I am. Last but not least, दो लड़कियां हैं पीछे कहीं होंगी मेहरी और सुंदर। मुझे तो तक कमरे में है कि नहीं। Okay, stand up, girls. I can ask you to stand up. And so these two girls did my first drafts. ये मेरा बहुत काम करती थी, ये मेरी रिसर्च करती रहती है। I can't be who I am today जो मैं काम करती हूँ उसमें जो रिसर्चर्स होते हैं जो बिल्कुल यंग बच्चे होते हैं उनका कितना बड़ा किरदार होता है हम एक्नॉलेज करना भूल जाते हैं। तो ये दो बच्चों ने मेरे साथ काम किया, मेरे साथ एक और बच्ची है जिसने मेरे साथ इस किताब में काम किया। And last but not least, I am grateful to Paramount for accepting to publish this book. I am told by them that it is doing well. The title है किताब का, the credit goes to the symbol at Paramount. This is all I have to say. I'm not going to keep you from your lunch. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting me. It is people like you who allow people like us to grow. Thank you again. आप खाना खाने का एक छोटा सा अनाउंसमेंट मैं करना चाहती हूँ। अमीना यहाँ बैठी है, अमीना ने एग्री किया है कि अगर फेस्ट जो नवंबर में होगा, वे अमीना इस किताब को वहाँ भी फॉर्मली लॉन्च करेगी. All of you are cordially invited to come to the other fest and of course to my second book launch there. The book is available. एक बात और बता दूं. तो मेरी पहली बुक लॉन्च हुई और जावेद जवाहर साहब हमेशा तशरीफ लाते हैं जब मेरी बुक लॉन्च होती है. स्पीकर ना भी हो तो जरूर आते हैं. इसी तरह वजीर अजीज साहब बैठे तो जरूर आते हैं. जब मेरी पहली किताब लॉन्च हुई तो उन्होंने वो किताब उस वक्त हम ऐसे ही दे रहे थे. जावेद जवाहर साहब ने कहा नहीं मैं किताब कैसे दे दूँ. हम कितना चर्चा करते हैं किताबें तो खरीद लेनी चाहिए. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
Well, thank you very much. It's your prerogative to thank everyone, but I believe we have to.
I am, I can't be grateful enough कि हम बहुत सारे नाम हैं. जनरल मोइनुद्दीन हैदर साहब तशरीफ लाए. उन्होंने मुझसे कहा मैं DHA जा चुका हूँ, ऑस्ट्रेलिया चली पड़ती हूँ. But he took time out to be here. So मैं आपसे कहूँगा कि मैंने नाम लिया तो बहुत देर हो जाएगी. जहाँ आएंगे हैं, दस साहब आएंगे, उसको फिरदौस साहब तशरीफ रखते हैं. I'm extremely grateful to all of you for taking out the time here. And once again, जनरल साहब बहुत शुक्रिया कि आपको सपोर्ट करने का. दस साहब आपका बहुत शुक्रिया.
Well, I think we had a very interesting discussion. In conclusion, let me thank Lieutenant Baqai, Begum Sahiba, Vice Chancellor DHA Suffa University, all the speakers, and also our distinguished guests. I think all this reflects and adds up to showing respect for you. Thank you.
The participants are requested to wait for a while. Just wait for a while. 2 minutes. Serious citizens to the
Excuse me, sir.